make sure you hear me. I pledge allegiance to the funk of the universal unfolding, that I may be free to express myself to the fullest. Grant me that I may inherit from you an abundance of love, peace, joy, and happiness. It's time that we make a change for the spiritual oneness. Don't you be one? Don't you want to be? Don't you want to be one with the spirit? I mean, that is the purpose of life. Didn't you know? Find your spirit, connect yourself within, then all the life problems will come to an end. The voices speak loud. No, you're not crazy. You're not losing your mind. That's right. It's called a spiritual oneness, baby. Connect. Get tight. Starlight, star bright. How I wish tonight that all the people of the world would unite and take flight in your universal unfolding. Spread your wings and fly. Spread your wings and fly. Spread your wings and fly. Fly away. Fly away in your universal unfolding. So take it easy, 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 real easy. Spread your wings and fly. Make it mellow. Make it mellow. Fly away. Make it mellow. Make it mellow. In your universal unfolding. Make it mellow. Make it mellow. In your universal unfolding.
Introduce Vice President Harris. I'll never forget getting out of my seat on my first space flight in 2001 and looking out the window for the very first time. You see the Earth as this big round ball just floating there in the blackness of space, and you immediately get this sense how we are all in this together. And I know that everybody in this room understands how important space will be, understanding the causes and effects of global climate change. Space-based scientific research is crucial. Lastly, and this is something that's
Hey, what's up, everybody? Much love, much love. Welcome to the MellowDome. We got episode 39, Scripture, Spirituality. And my birthday, motherfuckers. Hey, 34 years old. Episode 39, we got a great guest on tonight. Joe Hill from EftUpWorld. Much love, brother. Thank you for coming on tonight.
There's a delay. Just wait a second. There's a delay. Welcome to the space station. How you doing?
What's up?
We got you loud and clear.
Hold on. I gotta remember the delay. I
yeah.
gotta remember
Yeah,
the delay. Hell yeah.
How you
But
doing?
yeah, man.
Happy
I'm
birthday.
Great. Thank you. It's been a great day. How's your day been?
Been good. Been thinking about this just because the MellowDome.
Yeah,
the
man. I've been looking forward to this, especially after that conversation we had on the phone.
It barely my schedule. You know, I'm an astronaut, so busy with my schedule. Interviews here, interviews there, spacewalks, here, and battery replacement spacewalks there. I'm a busy guy up here. And so it was great that my person, that my handler could schedule this. So I'm appreciating it. So I'm on expedition 73 right now.
Oh, sorry, I got some action in the next room. I can hear the baby crying.
That was just the delay.
Yeah, just the delay. So we're gonna get into a lot of great stuff tonight, guys. It's gonna be a really great conversation. But before we do that, I have a few things I gotta say. First, I don't know if I mentioned it last show, but I did update the merch store. We got the Rasta design back and a couple other designs back in stock. And then I added another product. Let me bring it up. Bam, right here. Got a product. This is exclusively for MellowDome.com, made by Grounded Extracts, right? It's a special MellowDome blend from the Delta. I had it written down. I wrote all the stuff down. The Delta, the Delta 8 strand. It does have both, guys. It's pretty strong. I had the details written somewhere. 1,000 milligrams. That's enough, right? Grounded extracts, guys. But this is exclusively on the MellowDome.com website. And that was done by Grounded Extracts, which is now an official sponsor of the MellowDome. So, guys, if you want all these great products, you can go to groundedextracts.com. Check out all their products. They got great products. Find in nature what you thought only the unnatural world could offer. There you go, James. I got it, bro. I'll get better at it, bro. But yeah, guys, these are our first sponsor for the show. You know, support your fellow flat Earth businesses. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's great. They got some other products here like this, right? Stinging nettle. They got a couple other liquid extracts. They got kratom, hemp, all kinds of stuff, bro. Go check it out. GroundedExtracts.com. That's James and Najla. Damn. I don't know if I'm saying her name right now. But James, Najla. I think it's Najla. Najla. There's an L in that. So, but they're great products. I love their stuff. And they're an official sponsor now for the show, guys. So let's give it up. I ain't got to push dick pills or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Like, keep it real here. So groundedextracts.com. Yeah. Well, every fucking show is pushing like the blue chew stuff.
I've noticed there's like a.
It's weird.
There's some weird stuff. Yeah.
It's fucking weird. So yeah, guys, hit them up. GroundedExtracts.com. They got great stuff. And if you're interested in the MellowDome special blend, you go to MellowDome.com. The rest of their products is on their website. Great stuff. Big shout out to them. I love them. They got a beautiful family and a wonderful business. Wonderful products. So
they're in the chat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's all up in the chat. He's my homie. That's my homie right there. And so is there anything I want to bring up? Nope, that's it right now. So, so tonight we got Joe. We're going to get into a lot of good gravy. We're going to be quoting some scriptures, talking about spirituality, of course, when we get into the book of Enoch and all these different locations that are described in the great book, I think it's important we should talk about books that were taken out, right? People like to say, oh, that's not canon, like it's fucking Star Wars or something, and not really having a clue about it. But go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think there's a legitimate time that, because there's most of the people that don't like the book of Enoch are people that do like the Bible. And so one thing I would say to those people is that, like in Matthew 22, and I'm not sure where else, it's in other gospels too, but when the Sadducees came to Jesus and they asked him a kind of an odd question, obviously probably trying to trap him or something, like trying to trap him in his words or something. And they asked him about marriage after the resurrection, like after he raised everybody up.
Right.
And he said, he kind of rebuked them and said, you don't know the scriptures, or you're greatly in error and don't know the scriptures nor the power of God. And then he right after that, he said, he almost quoted Enoch chapter 15, where Enoch was taken up to heaven and God told him, angels that I created them as eternal beings. They don't need to have children. So they don't need offspring because they're eternal. And I created man to have children on the earth because, or I mean, oh no, I was talking about marriage. I'm sorry. But that was involved in the, but men on the earth, he created wives for them, not for angels, because they're eternal. They don't need that thing that happens down here we call reproducing. They don't need to do anything like that. They're eternal. And so to me, when I read that, it just, I think Jesus had a copy of that book, or he had access to it, one or the other, because he said too many things that were out of that book. But that's one thing. So adding a little bit of credibility to that book.
Yeah. Well, when I went through that book, me and then my sister, one of the things that, well, I mean, I'm not so much scared anymore, but right after reading that, especially about like the Watchers and then even the Pit of Fire, all those things, it can be a little scary. You're walking away from that book and it's like, whoa, what the hell did I just read?
Kind of like, what?
So
what
I can
understand. What's actually happening around
I can
me?
understand why there's going to be some people that will just like, no, that book, nope, not getting any credit. You know what I mean? Like, because accepting that, that's some.
It's a lot of information there, too.
Absolutely.
It is a thick book filled, like you couldn't read it once and get it all. Like I haven't ever just read the whole book, but I've read it all just from piece by piece or whatever. But I think
these aren't necessarily books you read front to back,
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then actually, here's one other thing that speaks to me, and I'm sure a lot of the people right now that see a truth, like I don't even have to say what it is, but they see truth, and there's something that they all agree on, these same people. And we were talking about this before we went on live, was that there's a God and he lives in the sky, that he created us and he's right there. And that, to me, those people that believe it, those people that believe it, they should have a conflict of interest, or I mean, not a conflict, but a conflict with the whole idea of space exploration.
Right.
Because God lives there. That's where God is. That's where God's throne is, up in the stars, like up above the stars, wherever. But I don't know exactly where it is. But and here's another thing. In Enoch, the very first thing it says in the book is kind of crazy. And it adds a lot of, to me anyway, it adds a lot of value to this book. It says, very first verse, it's crazy that it says this, The words of the blessing of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous, who will be living in the day of tribulation, when all the wicked and godless are to be removed. And he took up his parable and said, Enoch, a righteous man, whose eyes were opened by God, saw the vision of the Holy One in the heavens, which the angels showed me. And from them I heard everything, and from them I understood as I saw, but not for this generation, but for a remote one, for which is to come. Concerning the elect, I said, and took up my parable concerning them. And then he goes on, but that's saying right there that the book's going to be hidden. The book's going to be hidden until a certain time, and then people are going to start to read it. A remote generation that's alive, that's alive during the tribulation.
That just reminded me a bit of this whole idea of where we're at on the timeline. And I just want to mention really quick, Monday, I don't know if you guys caught it, but there was a set of streams, 3 streams that were almost back to back to back. They were amazing. And it involved Steve JMO, Jen Truth Seeker 69, Ceiling Fan Man, and Brian Stavely. And those 3 streams started on Steve's channel, ended down on Brian's channel, and they all 3 complement each other. And in one of them, it's like, where are we at in this in the timeline, a biblical timeline? Are we in the little season where Satan's reigning? Are we in the tail end of that? That's where some of us are singing. That's where I'm from. I'm not trying to get into all that. I'm just saying, like,
no, that's important stuff. And actually, someone in the chat, let's see, I can scroll down. Someone in the chat, Artist of LL Yan, just said something important in the chat, and now I can't find it. Oh, there it is. The dragon up in the rakia.
Yeah. Ooh,
the dragon up in the rakia. That's a big deal. It's not like a dragon that has like slimy skin and big, claws or something with like, but it's a fire breathing dragon for sure. Most people here have seen it breathe fire before. And I'm talking about SpaceX Dragon.
Right. I was just about to say that. Yeah, of course.
And people have said to me for years, Satan's not a rocket, or that idea. And that's not for me to decide what Satan is, but there is a dragon that's telling the world, we're going to bring you to Mars and this whole vehicle.
Well, personally, let me just say that real quick about Satan, what Satan is. I don't think Satan is like necessarily, and I could be completely wrong, of course. This is just my opinion. But I think Satan is almost just like an opposition to I don't want to say light, truth, I guess. And that it's more of an energy, and it's like, so he has his fingers in all types of things.
Like he's not in one place.
Planned Parenthood, everywhere, all these different things, and it becomes an entity in itself. And those are like Satan, you know what I mean? Like an opposer of truth.
I think there's actually many Satans. And
right. Well, we have many names for many of them, right? You got Moloch, you got
Baal, and there's
there's many.
Apollo, that's another one. Apollyon, in Revelation, they had a king over them, and it was Apollyon, and he was the angel of the bottomless pit, which I think we'll talk about too, the bottomless pit. Let's talk some science, shall we? About space, because according to NASA,
let's get into it.
Should we do that right now, real quick? Because
let's do it.
There's a place, and we'll kind of look at the Book of Enoch.
We're going to go to a couple different places, right?
Yeah, I think so, because in the Book of Enoch, there is this horrible place that he mentions, and it's darkness. It's a place of darkness. In the Bible, in the Book of Jude, it says that the wandering stars, they're reserved until judgment in the blackness of darkness. And what I'm thinking about that, I'm like, where is darkness? There is a place of darkness. It's called space. We've all called it space our whole lives. And if you look at the word space, like synonyms.
Doesn't it say that they're like in between the two realms, the heavenly realm and the earth realm? Doesn't it say something about they're like
it says
trapped
a few
in
different.
between?
It says a few
like
different things. Like in the apocalypse or the ascension of Isaiah, the same Isaiah that wrote the Bible, he had a vision and he wrote about it, where he was taken up up to heaven through the different levels of heaven. And when he went through the firmament, he saw in the firmament he saw Satan's angels fighting with each other. And so there's one thing that says they're in the firmament. And when we think about it, God placed the sun, moon, and stars in the firmament. And I think that the stars are angels. But then there's other accounts in the vision of St. Paul. He goes up there, and the angel that he took him up told him to, when they got up to the first heaven, he told him to look back on the firmament. So it's like a layer of heaven that the stars are in. And I mean, I'm not trying to say I like have defined it or understand it, but
well, they describe heaven in layers, don't they? Different.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I think
there's a heavens for birds and clouds, and heavens for for
like the open air above the earth, and then there's the firmament of heaven, and there's even the air of the underworld. I don't really know exactly what that is, but Paul said when he went up through remember he went up to the third heaven, and he wrote about that in the vision of St. Paul. And it was when he looked back on the firmament from the first heaven, he saw he said, in the same place I saw he named a bunch of evil spirits, like deception and all these insolence and all these evil spirits he saw up there. And then he also what else did he see up there? Oh, he said he saw evil that draws itself down, or draws to itself the hearts of men, draws down to itself the hearts of men. And it's deception or whatever. So there's a lot of evil spirits in, and he said that he saw that under the firmament of the heaven, under. So I think under the firmament, and then there's a lot of things I've read where they're in the firmament. But then
what about the bottomless pit? Where do you think that would be at? Like when I read it, let me tell you where I think it like the way I envisioned it, as I was reading it, that it's not something under us, but out, like
outer darkness. Yeah.
Yeah. Like beyond Antarctica, right?
It could
somewhere
be
out here. Somewhere out here where like
where it would be dark,
forming or whatever. Like,
well, how far does the sun reach? Think about it. How far if the sun's going in a circle, and if there is that ice formation around, that's because of the sun that it would form in a circle, because of the sun going in a circle. So if you go any farther, it's darkness. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And don't most of the major, like the bigger telescopes, point in the southern hemisphere? Like they're pointing.
Maybe, I don't know.
I would say towards Antarctica.
Well, and that's the thing.
I never found that out for sure, but I've heard that said before.
That's one thing that's interesting to me, is that, okay, when we look up at the sky, it depends on where you are on the earth, what you're going to see, obviously. But if you go to the north, anywhere in the northern hemisphere, you're going to have to face north in order to see the axis of rotation, the point in the sky that the whole sky is turning around, right? You'll have to be looking north because you're going to look at the Polaris. But if you're all the way in the south, you have to turn around and look south to see that center point. So they say there's 2 points of rotation, and a lot of the people
know that southern point is it's because of perspective, because of the way
it's because the stars are
moving in the sky.
Yeah, like as we go south, and we could do this with like stellarium. You can go test it out yourself. Go to the north and look up and make the stars move. And as you go south, you're going to see the same exact movement all the way until you have to turn around to look south.
Right.
You'll be facing north, and then so they're all spinning the same way. So the stars that are in the south that appear to be going around a point, that's just so far away that point is like those stars are doing a huge circle, but it looks very small from where we can see them. But as you go to the north, they're circling over you, and then when you look to the north, they start circling around that. So I got my other hand in the.
Oh, how'd you do that? That's from all that radiation up there. You grew a third arm, third
Yep.
hand.
Yeah. No, that's just a camera malfunction.
Oh yeah, there
No,
you
I'm
go.
just kidding.
That's what it is. It's just
Ann McGovern said sun and moon are not in the firmament. The firmament are for wandering stars and luminaries. Okay, well, in the Bible it says God placed them in the firmament of the heavens. So I don't know why you would say that. He made two great lights and set them in the firmament of the heaven.
Well,
I think it's Genesis 1:14.
What was I gonna say? I just lost my train of thought. Damn it.
Oh, bottomless pit we were talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so if we did some science, like if we went and called some scientists, like from anywhere at NASA or any you're like anyone can choose the best, Harvard or whatever you want to talk about. They're going to agree with what I'm believing about what space is. They're going to tell you that a solar system, first of all, there's a weird thing. In order to get into a solar system or to get into space, it's not like you just go up into the sky and you're in space. That's not how it works. You have to literally go sideways above, like here's the Earth. You have to go sideways, parallel with the surface of the Earth. And science would assume that that's a curved surface, right? And that it's a globe. So they think that you're going sideways so fast, and you're falling just like you would if you dropped an apple. But since it's going sideways so fast, that rate of curvature dropping off, basically you can go the right speed and make that, and you orbit. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's how you get into space. You don't just go up, you don't, like Jeff Bezos, they're not going into space. They're going high in the atmosphere.
Yeah. Personally, me, I don't really think people. So do you think they're going as fast as they say? Because
yes.
Do you think humans are physically possible to go that fast? Or is it maybe because at that high, maybe
there's no air,
there's no atmosphere or something?
Yeah. It's a different realm. So here's like, in the Bible, it talks about heaven being incorruptible, and everything on earth is corruptible. Like if it will deteriorate. You know what I mean? Like the body dies, but our spirit doesn't die. It goes somewhere else when we die or whatever. But that incorruptible place is where God's heaven and all of his angels are. And so when men defile that place with corruptible things, then that's going to be when the end of the world's coming. Because they climb up there and do it.
So you think they're trying to penetrate the firmament, just like that? What was it? Operation Fishbowl was on Operation.
Well, I don't
Dominique,
see it that way.
Or
I don't see it that way. I think it's a routine thing that to go blasting through the firmament. I think it's routine, and I'll show you why.
Do you think it's a timing thing as well? Do you think they have to go at a certain time, like
yes.
there's like the stars
there's
have
like
to be in
a window,
certain positions and stuff?
Well, not that, but why do they have to go sideways to get into that place? If you think about it, when they get there and they shut their engines off, they had to, like,
it's like obvious they're going sideways to me. When I watch these rockets,
they're going sideways.
Like I've seen
they're trying
them
to
go. I've seen them above the tree line when I was out at the horse farm, and sideways.
See, they could do that 10 feet off of the ground if the air wasn't here. But the air is so thick, you can't go very fast through the air. We don't have materials that'll last. Like if you start going those kind of speeds in the air, it would just tear everything apart. Like when we see something deorbiting and you see it's just like sparks going across the sky, but they're just straight line, they keep going at the same speed. that's because they're just starting to hit the air, like when they're coming in, kind of like a
Do they
meteor, how it burns
necessarily
up.
have to be going that fast though? Because to me, that speed is like so unfathomable. I just don't.
It is unfathomable. It's literally unfathomable. But if you, here's to keep in the back of your mind while we're talking about this, I think it's important that God said when they built the Tower of Babel, and God came down and confounded our languages, and now look at the world. We have a ton of different languages here. But when he did that, he also said it almost sounded like he was a bit intimidated, like, wow, I can't believe that they could do this. But he said, not of one language and one tongue and words of union, that nothing would be restrained from them that they imagined to do. So if they imagined it, they'll be doing it if they're all speaking the same language, because that's just what God said. And so a lot of people say, no man can ever get through the firmament. Well, that's not really what God said. He said nothing would be restrained from them that they imagined to do. So when I'm thinking of the moon landing, I have a different outlook on it a lot of times. If you ask me, is the moon landing fake? I would say it's not real. Because if I said,
listen, man, don't worry about. Listen, I'm all about other people's perspectives, bro.
No, I know.
I'm very interested in how you're looking at all this. This is why I brought you on. You know, I'm really.
What I want.
This is already interesting to me.
I just want anyone that's entertaining what I'm saying, not to or to keep it in the back of your mind that God said that whatever they imagined that they would be able to do it. And like we have Google Translate, there is no language barrier in this world anymore, really. And so that being considered, I think that we're to the point where if we imagined it, that we'd be able to do it. Well, let's imagine something that is just bizarre and say, let's go to the moon. You know that light up in this? Let's go there. And so they imagined it. And what I'm believing about the moon, I don't think anybody faked it, but it certainly wasn't real. And that comes from where it says God will send them strong delusion so that they believe a lie.
It's just funny watching you say that, and I'm thinking you're actually holding a mic sometimes. Like,
yeah. and
love it.
I'm actually holding a green piece of cardboard here. But if the creator that created this world, and he created us and all the complexity of everything, if he was going to send strong delusion so that somebody believed a lie, what kind of delusion would be sent? How strong would it be? If 12 men, if NASA and the government and people in the world imagined that 12 men were going to go to the moon, I think God would have no problem allowing 12 men to go to the moon and just creating whatever they imagined for them. Although, if we actually read what the Bible says, the moon is a light, and it's actually like a spirit, like it governs the night or whatever. It rules the night. And like if in the book of Enoch, the moon has 4 names, and it's very much like an angel. It's not an angel. Like, I'm not trying to define what the moon is. I'm saying that it's some sort of being. The sun sees all of the things that happen on the earth. That idea, they see it. And so I think it's part of, they call him the Lord of Spirits, and he creates, he fills the earth with spirits. That's what it says in Enoch. And so I'm thinking on that line, the clouds. What are the clouds? Oh, it's just water droplets. Yeah. If you have no imagination, like of what Enoch and what the Bible says, if you like,
I've heard there's people who think clouds are spirits.
That's what Enoch says. There's angels that govern the clouds. They direct the clouds. It's kind of like it is a spirit or something. You know, I don't think we'll ever know even what a spirit really is while we're here, maybe. But yeah, I think the moon landing and stuff like that, I don't think that NASA has some Hollywood studio that they're faking it in. I know that's a feasible, reasonable way to think. I'm not saying it's not. I'm
Sure
just
enough,
saying
looks
that.
like that to me, dog. That's all I'm
Me
saying.
too. Me too. I don't believe it. I mean, it
It
looks like
looked like
it
straight
looks like a
footage.
set. Yeah. I mean, especially
You
when you
know,
see like
there
you
was
see like,
there was a time when I thought that they faked it, you know, because it always looked like bullshit to me. But for
yeah,
longest, I
I
thought they
think,
faked it because they really like met up with fucking aliens or some shit.
yeah,
Like,
me too. I thought the same thing that, that we saw ships on the other side of the crater and we didn't know what they were. You know what I mean? Like all that kind of stuff. And it's like, that's really interesting stuff to think about. But if we think about it in a different way, what science will tell you about the solar system, the entire solar system, the whole universe, it's a place of emptiness. It's a place of where there's no breathable air. There's no water. There's nothing like that. There's what they call planets. They think that they're, rocks up there, or balls of gas that act like rocks when they need them to act like rocks. But when they want to land on them, then they're a rock. But otherwise, they're probably just like some big gas explosion happening or whatever, whatever they say. But I'd rather believe what Enoch said, that in chapter 18 and 21, he goes and he sees this prison of the stars and the host of heaven. And he saw 7 planets there. He saw 7 wandering stars that didn't obey God. And God he bound them, imprisoned them until judgment. And then it says here, it also mentions the angels from Genesis 6 that came down and took the human wives and created giant offspring. It mentioned those angels too. And it said, here shall they stand and until the day of the great judgment or whatever. And they'll assuming many different forms to defile mankind and lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. So when we look up in the sky and we don't believe what God says, what we don't believe, like what Enoch tells us, or these old prophets of old, we're probably going to believe exactly what the wandering stars are taking those forms in order to make us believe. Kind of like, hey, we could go live there on Mars. Why do you think it looks like terrain? Why does it look like a place to go land? To draw the hearts of men. And so, I mean, if you look at NASA and the names of their missions, why are they doing that? They're naming them after all these deities, these, false gods. And like
it's
even
the
their acronym.
solar system, my guy.
Yeah, exactly. Solar system.
Yeah.
But I do think that in the Bible, in Revelation, that it talks about Babylon, mystery Babylon. And it's a woman, but it's also a city. And the way I am understanding it, that solar system is Babylon the Great. And it's not a universe, it's a prison. That's in Revelation 18, verse 2. He says, he saw an angel come down from heaven. He said, Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen. It has become the habitation of devils and the hold of every false spirit and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And I'm just thinking of unclean and hateful birds are probably like the shuttle and stuff. I don't know. But yeah, so the bottomless pit, though, everything in the solar system is free falling. They free fell to the moon.
Yeah, I thought you were about to bring up the imprisonment and stuff because you were just going there, weren't you?
Yeah, well, they're imprisoned. The planets are in the place where Sheol
They're
or
repeating the
hell,
same thing over and over, right? So you think Sheol's up there? You don't think Sheol's below us?
I think it's both. I think it's
Both.
all around us. Like
The
outer
way I
darkness.
understood it is that Sheol was like possibly a place below us. I couldn't tell you what it would look like, but that it was divided into 2 places.
I think I understand what you're saying.
And one place, I could be completely wrong, but I think it was for people who were damned or
Yeah,
something.
I think there's like a place of rest, and it's called Sheol.
Because Judgment Day is a singular event.
Yeah, and so
It's not like
everybody that
after you die,
dies,
it's your Judgment Day. No, Judgment Day is a one-time thing.
and it's what is it, the day of the Lord, right? Basically, I think that's what they refer to it as a lot of times. But yeah, everyone, like it, when you die, your body goes into the dirt, like we put a grave, and your spirit goes to that place. And Jesus made or said a parable about it, with Lazarus, and there was it said there was a deep, I can't remember the word it used, like a big cavern between Lazarus and this. Basically, there was a good side and an evil side, and you couldn't go from one side to the other. It just wasn't possible. And that place is, I think, what it called it Abraham's bosom, which I don't really understand that, but I think that's basically, Enoch described it in chapter 22, I think, where there's all these smooth places, and I don't know why he would say smooth, but there's all these smooth places, and the souls of men were resting there until that day of judgment. And
Yeah, it's funny you said smooth because that's what I picture. I picture like
like an egg.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. You said egg. I swear, that's what I
I'm
picture
thinking
an
Mork
egg
and
when I
Mindy.
read it. Yeah, man. That's
But
so crazy, dude.
so that place, now here's maybe where I differ, because you know that there's like a drawing, it's in some Bibles, I think, even, and Sheol's underneath the earth there, and there's like there's like big stone pillars that are the foundation of the earth and all this stuff. I do think that some of that is misunderstood big time, and like the pillars of the the pillars of the earth, or the foundations of the earth. Wouldn't you expect them to be like some big stone foundations or something solid, strong like that? Well, Enoch in chapter 18, he said he went and saw the treasuries of all the winds. And he said, I saw how he had furnished with them the whole creation and the firm foundations of the earth. And then it says, the four winds bear the earth and the firmament of heaven. So it's the winds that are they're holding it up. That's what the word bear means, to bear something. So the winds are holding up the firmament and the earth. So I think those drawings are sometimes maybe wrong. But the reason why I think that Sheol is above us is from Genesis 1 verse 2, the second verse in the Bible. It says, and there was darkness, or the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved over the face of the waters. So I think there's dark waters, and there's a surface to them, like a surface, and God is right there on that surface. And that makes sense to me, because like in Revelation, John goes up to that throne, and what does he see? A sea of glass. And so I think that that's basically the surface of those dark waters. And I think that NASA thinks those dark waters are a vacuum for some crazy reason. Probably because it is a place of nothing. But you know how the stars turn, and like the whole sky turns and it doesn't stop. I mean, maybe during the day we could say it stopped because we can't see it, but at night it turns, and it turns pretty fast if you think about it. And in order to go there, wouldn't you have to get moving kind of fast? Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what they're doing. I think that's what they're doing when they go sideways. They go high enough,
but at a certain height, the stars like disappear, right?
I've heard that.
And then it's just a black void.
Well, you hear that from the astronauts, that it's just a black void.
Well, you can see it too from like, high altitude balloons and stuff like that.
And that's something.
But that's where the sun is close though too. Like I'd like to see one at night where the moon is close. You know what I mean? I haven't ever seen one of those. I think that would be amazing.
That's because the moon is orbiting the earth, you crazy goofball. I'm just kidding. I
But
think
it's like, because if the sun's on this side,
yeah.
we're seeing
Yep.
the stars over here. It's
Okay.
dark, but the
Yep.
sunlight is like still shining the stars or on the firmament or
Yeah.
whatever, and that's why we can see the stars. And then when
Yep.
the sun comes back over here, we don't see the stars anymore. But then over here, it's dark because we're on the ground, and when the sun goes far away, we don't see it anymore. It makes it dark on the ground. But up in the
Up
higher
above you,
levels,
yeah.
that light is still reaching the firmament, which makes us
Yep.
able to see the stars at night.
And that makes some sense. Almost like the sun is charging them, or like charging
Exactly,
them
because I
like you
think
would with
that's
like a glow sticker or something.
I
You
think
put
that's
a
what's
light in
going
front
on
of
with
it.
the moon to me. Like,
Me
I feel
too.
like
That's
there's a
what Enoch
relationship
says.
with the sun and the moon, and
That's what
it's
Enoch
taking
says.
energy, and that part that was getting that direct energy
Yep.
glows. And
The
that's why you
phases.
see little craters, because those it's actually like blocked or whatever. And I don't even think the things that we're seeing are actual physical things. I think there are
They're
projections
almost
of
like light.
the physical objects, not because they're
Yeah,
like
I can agree with
I don't
that.
think that. I think that because there's so much atmosphere, just like, you put a pencil in a glass of water and you see that pencil off to the side in the water. You know what I mean? I'm using my joint as a reference.
No, you're
But
right, though.
you know what I mean? So we're not actually seeing that object. We're seeing it's almost like a projection or a hologram of it due to
a distorted, probably
not even distorted. It's not distorted. You
it's
can
the
see how
opposite
clear
of
it is,
distorted. Yeah,
but
it's like the opposite of distorted. It's like a perfect
all
image.
we all have our own personal relationships with these things, like the light
like
comes
when
to
the
us,
sun
comes to our feet, comes to your feet at the
like
same time.
And you're standing there. We're both next to each other, or however far, and the sun's coming right to me. That's
walking
because,
on water, bro, right to you.
That's because we are the only means of perceiving reality. We are. If you aren't there, there's no reality for you there. Like there
I've
might
said
be.
that before. There's like I don't know how legit this experiment I heard about, the double slit experiment. I'm not sure how legit that is, but it's like almost like that, where we are all projecting something. Like, we're creating this place. We're all co-creators. We're creating it together. And then the same
You're
way
just
you
saying
said
kind
that
of by perceiving it. By
well, yeah,
perceiving
and
it
even with our
exists.
imagination, like you were bringing up earlier, we're creating, and that's why these powers that be are they're controlling the narrative with all the brainwashing and propaganda and the programming, and they're creating the reality that they want for us.
Or what if I said,
and we're the ones projecting it into the world by them feeding it to us, and we turn around and project it into the world.
Who's they in that situation? Because that's an important thing, I think.
Well, on a physical level, it's the Committee of 300, all those people, all the media and all that. But on a spiritual level, it is Satan, working his magic on all these things. Like, he's everywhere, bro. Like,
if we were to ask Don Pettit or
he's a fucking retard.
I'm just he's a weirdo.
We're gonna ask him.
But any astronaut, okay, so let's say just someone that claims to have gone up there, okay. If I forgot what I was gonna ask him. I totally forgot what I was gonna ask. Oh, dude, if they believe, like at NASA or something, the people working there, do they believe that they're in perpetrating a lie, or do they believe that they're going to space? I think they all just believe they're going to space, and they're trying to do, like, here's an example I'll use. Top Fuel Dragster competition, NHRA. I don't know if you follow that at all, but just like race cars doing the quarter mile. Okay. They go, and I might be off with my numbers, but it's something crazy, like from 0 to 400 miles an hour in something like 4 seconds. Like that's where rubber meets the road. That's the height of the technology of man today, is that to go that fast from 0 to, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's something crazy like that. To do that, it takes like very precise tire pressure and the right kind of rubber on the tires and the right kind of everything that's involved in building one of those cars that can do that. And it's still very dangerous. Like when they crash, they just keep flying. like in the air. It's very scary. But and they have crashes sometimes, and I mean they just basically just take off like an airplane. They're going so fast. But that amount of power and that amount of technology just to achieve that quick speed, that's what I would call the height of technology for when rubber meets the road. Okay. We could do that with just about anything, really. We have where there's limitations that we meet up against. Like one of the limitations for a car like that is the air, and they have to be aerodynamic because going 400 miles an hour isn't easy for anything down on the ground because the air is like molasses. So that's the height of it. Like I don't know if they'll ever go much faster than that because there's limitations. But then when we go up to the sky, we found a different limitation of the air, and that was the speed of sound, how fast sound could travel through the air. And we decided we were going to keep going, and we actually finally made vehicles or jets that could go faster than the sound that they are making. That is a barrier. It's a limitation of our reality, the sound movement through our reality when your neighbor's dribbling a basketball and it doesn't match up with what you're seeing. We all understand that. So that speed right there, when you go faster than that speed, what happens? Well, a sonic boom, which is, who would have thought that? A sonic boom happens because, okay, we can say there's a shock wave and there's a pressure wave and all these things, the scientific, like the technical data. But how about if we just said this? Sound moves this fast and we made a vehicle that can go faster. How does that happen? Like, is that even part of reality anymore? I'm going to fire up my jet and it's going to make some sound, and I'm going to move my jet away from the sound quicker than the sound can get to there. That doesn't make any sense. Yet it's considered to be kind of slow.
Hey, did you watch the show I did with Tommy?
Is that the flat fellow? That flat fellow?
Yeah, that flat fellow.
Yeah, I did watch it. And that was
hear what
interesting
he was saying
stuff
about the sound and the N wave,
like in
sonic booms,
transonic speed or whatever. Like this, I think I heard what he was saying about the re-entry of the Falcon 9 and how it's like a triple sonic boom. And
well, he was talking about how it's like impossible to have a sonic boom when they're coming down to land, when these rockets are coming down and landing these
well, they're going like, what is it, hypersonic down to supersonic and then transonic and then subsonic. They're going through all those regimes with that.
Yeah, but he's saying going from like slow to a fast speed causes that, but going from a fast speed to a slow speed will not cause that. Like science says that shouldn't happen.
Well, from the sky it will, though. If it's coming down towards the ground, it will. If it's passing over you like a jet normally
would. See, that's another thing he says. He says that there's this thing, I forgot what it's called. I should wrote it down. Where it's this barrier up there that stops. A shadow.
A shadow that sound basically gets canceled out in. And
you were watching.
Yeah, I was watching. But I think that like, I don't think that that's going to apply through all those different velocities or whatever, different speeds. And it might, I don't really know, but I do know that in Florida, it's becoming a common thing for people to see these rockets coming down from the sky. And when they are coming down, they're going very fast until you see their engines turn on for that last, what do they call it, the landing burn. They're moving really fast. And like, if you listen to the people that are on like home video recordings of it or whatever, like a lot of times people are going, whoa, that's way too fast. They're going to hit the ground. Like they're going super fast. And then basically they're firing their engines. And actually, if you have a good video of it, you can hear exactly what's happening because it's pretty quiet until they're almost landed. But depending on how far you are away from the landing site, the sound has to get to you. Now, if you think about, this is something that I hadn't think about for a while. haven't thought about it until recently, is okay, like a meteor, like in Russia in 2013, that meteor that came down and it was like it injured like thousands of people because it broke a bunch of glass.
Was that video? Was that recorded?
Yeah, there's tons of recordings of it. People recorded it all over.
Is that the one you played on your one video? It's
yep.
like a farm. So that's what they were saying, that was a meteorite?
Or well, it was a meteor that came in and it, burns up as it's going across the sky, but that was going about 47,000 miles an hour, which is really fast. But like if you just gauge it across the sky. And here's the thing, you know how any video that you see of it that has that boom, that big loud sonic boom or whatever, that's 2.5 minutes.
You have that video? Are you able to play it on your screen?
I do. How would I don't think you'll get audio though. For some reason I have a hard time getting audio, but but maybe not. Let me just
be a little, when you click screen share on there, there should be a little like thing on the side.
Let me try that once. Let's see, screen share, entire screen.
Share with audio on the bottom left corner.
Okay, there we go. All right, let me get, actually, I can play it. Where would I play it? Sorry, I'm just getting a couple things figured out here.
You can do the plus sign too. You can click add source and then go up to local video, click that, and then it'll play directly any file you got.
Oh, where was that add source button?
The plus sign, right above the private chat, you'll see a plus sign next to settings. Maybe you don't have it. I don't know.
I guess I don't have it.
Do you have the screen share button?
Yeah, I'll try that. Let's see, screen 1 or screen 2. Okay, you can pick. Cool. I think I'll do screen.
Make sure you click share with sound on the bottom left.
Oh yeah, share system audio. Hopefully that's the right audio. Let's see here. Sorry.
You're all right. We're chilling. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 70 people here total.
Oh, I don't think I got the right screen.
Yeah, cool. We got one at Facebook. Shout out. Much love over there. Don't have a screen up. D Live, Twitch, 1 each over there. 67 at YouTube, and 8 people over at Rockfin. What's up, Ariel? Shout out, Ariel. She just said what's up.
Okay, I think I got it up there, but let me grab a video and then go full screen. Let's see. You can probably see what I'm doing. I have to go grab a video, but
I haven't brought it up yet.
So the speed of sound's like 700.
Tell me when you're ready and I'll bring it up.
Okay. It's like 770 miles an hour, right? Something like that. Through the air. And so I forgot where I was going with that. The speed of sound. Oh, so when something comes into the firmament or whatever a meteor does, whatever that was in, we'll say Russia then, when something comes in and all the people, they had their cameras out, like they could tell that something happened, and they went outside and looked and they saw this big streak of a cloud going through the sky. Like, what was that? And it was at 760 miles an hour. If the firmament was 60 miles up in the air, it's going to take like up to like almost 3 minutes for that sound to get down to the ground. So that's why people had their cameras out, and people caught the glass breaking all over the place. So I don't know what that was that allowed them to, they probably felt it. They might've felt heat from it. Some people said they felt heat from it, and whatever it was, or maybe you just sensed something that large going through the sky. It has to make some kind of vibration on the ground or something, but whatever it is. So as the rocket's coming down, if it's not 60 miles up, but however high it is, it's going to take a long time for that sound to get down. And so as it's slowing down, that's when the sound finally gets caught up. And then that's, I don't think that I think it would be hard to say that a sonic boom wouldn't happen, because it literally does happen when they come in. And I don't think they have some machine making that sound. I don't think that's really possible. Plus Enoch actually mentions noise being what shakes the heavens and causes that last day. sound.
You
And
gonna
it
keep
came out
playing
of,
with that microphone? Or are you gonna
I don't
pull up
know
that
if
video?
I forgot. Sorry. I don't know
I'm
where
just
it is.
messing
That's
with
my
you.
problem. I'll get it
Yeah, all right.
here. I sort of know where it is, but it'll take me
It's just
a
it's
second
a
to find
pretty
it.
good video. That was impressive watching that. Like, whoa. You
Oh,
know,
I think
like
I
if
found
I
it.
was there watching that, like, man, dude, that would
Okay, so I got,
be amazing.
whoops. I got the video. Okay. Tell me if you can hear sound. For some reason, I got it on the wrong screen, but whatever.
Well, I see it on your other screen. Can you make it bigger on your other screen?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to remove
Hold
me
on. There
out of
you
the
go.
picture.
There you go.
Okay, tell me if you can hear this when I hit play. Could you hear that?
No.
Okay, then that's not good. That
But I
means we
can
got
see it
no
on the other
audio.
screen. Hold on. Hold on.
Let me
Oh,
see
no,
if
not.
let me see here. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to get audio.
All
I've
right.
always
That's
had
fine.
trouble. We could go to my YouTube channel, and do you have to download it to get it on your
No.
program, or can you just play it?
No, that's what, yeah.
Because I think the
I just thought
video.
you had it.
No, I do, but I just have for some reason problem with any of these
But
streaming
you mentioned
services.
Giants earlier.
Yeah.
What do you think about Giants? What's your pitch on Giants? Like, what's
I think
you
that
know, because you got
they're
a lot of different perspectives, and you know, I really like that.
yeah. I think Giants are basically uh and I don't really understand it, but an angel apparently is kind of like a male, or at least if it manifested into something physical on the earth here, in it does it in a where it has the proper parts that you would need to reproduce. Okay. And I don't know, I really don't know exactly how they do that, but they took wives and they laid with them, or whatever you want to say, and the offspring was this race of giants. So they were basically half angelic being, half human being.
You see what I got on the screen?
Yeah, and you know what? That brings up some interesting things. I wouldn't doubt that one
This
bit.
is supposedly the tomb of Noah, and
I wouldn't doubt
it's
that at all.
in the city. I cannot pronounce that word. Nakchivian. I can't say that. Dated back to from the 8th century. But yeah, the tomb of Noah. It's pretty insane, dude. Oh yeah, what were you gonna say?
Ezra in Second Ezra is another book that was removed from the Bible. That was in the 1611, but not in our Bibles we have today. But that book said Ezra talked about or not Ezra, but the Lord or the angel that was sent from the Lord or whatever mentioned that at the beginning of time that men were a certain size, and then as time goes on, all through the end, they get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And he compared it with the womb of a woman. The first child she has when she's young might be healthier or bigger. I don't remember the exact words he used, but healthier or larger than when her womb was failing, like when she was old, that she might have a smaller, less healthy baby.
Well, don't they
But
say that Adam was it Adam? They said he was 60 cubits,
I'm not
and
sure. But I'm sure
a
he was
cubit I think
probably
is like
big.
17 inches or something like that. A cubit. But
Yeah, and
do you think they got? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the Giants. In the Book of
Oh, my
Enoch,
boy
it
is
it
loud.
says something where they're really tall, like 400 feet tall. I don't remember the however many cubits or whatever, but so I could see Noah being that big, no problem. I don't know.
So do you think that? Whoa, sorry, my mic was hot. So do you think that? God, look at the size of that dude. Okay, do you think that that we're shrinking, dude? Like, so the flood happened, and that just changed the environment, right? Like, maybe the electromagnetic field became weaker, and the pressure within this enclosement wasn't as, I guess, strong enough or something,
Or
like
like
this.
I've heard people talk about oxygen level, like maybe there's
Right.
more oxygen
Like
or
there's bigger
something.
trees, bigger kangaroos, bigger sloths, like
Yep.
all kinds of creatures.
It does seem like something changed, obviously, and actually I think when
I'm not
God
trying
made
to discredit that there's Nephilim. I do think that there's these giant race, but I also believe that these people from the Bible were men of renown, like giant, like big people,
Okay, yeah,
And
yeah.
when you find all these ancient buildings and architectures everywhere, there's
Like
huge
the pyramids
doorways
and stuff like
and
that.
yeah, all kinds of stuff. Like
Like
these things are built
what
for
is that,
big people.
Easter Island? Is it Easter Island that has all those huge
The
statues, like
Moai.
yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
sure
the
what they're
Moai.
called.
Yeah, the Moai.
Yeah,
And they're like half sunk. They're full,
yeah,
they're full
they're in the
bodies, right?
ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know
They
what I
say they
think?
sunk.
I think what yeah, I don't think they sunk.
Right.
They sunk? That's what they say?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. They
boy.
said they've been sinking.
That's like saying Devil's Tower was lava shooting up out of the ground. Like I don't think it was, but um I don't
No.
know. There's so many like fringe topics or whatever you want to call them. They're like that. Oh, you're bad if you talk about that. If you talk about the Devil's Tower, this monstrosity of a tree or a monstrosity of a tree stump. That's what it looks like, but it's stone, so it grew out of the ground as stone. It didn't grow out of the ground as a tree. It had to have grown out of the ground as stone, like a volcano would, or like molten granite or whatever. It's a joke. It's a tree. It looks like a tree. I might be wrong, but yeah, I think you're right. I think things were much larger at some point. And I do think that also at the same time, things like the pyramids or whatever, maybe men could do that, but I think it would be more likely that a lot of that crazy architecture stuff was done by literally these giants or the fallen angels, which would probably be to me.
What if they were built during the time of God's reign? Like
I don't
when he
see it
came.
that way.
No? How do you see
I
it?
just see, I think we are gathering together. This is what I think, in a nutshell, that all of these people that we've come to somehow know each other and know a lot about each other and believe a lot of the same things and very much the same things in very many areas. I believe that we're being gathered together for the coming of God, or the Son of God, I should say. That I don't think that he has reigned here in that way yet myself. But that's funny because I was talking to Tony from Coffee House Theology this morning on the phone, and we were actually talking about that. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that I don't see that being possible to happen yet, because when he comes, that's when wicked is removed from the earth for good forever, and then his kingdom is a eternal one. So I don't see it as a time where there's another age coming afterward or something like that. But that's something, that's like, I guess it's a
Right.
popular
Well,
debate
I'm
these
saying,
days.
like the story where you got the reign for 1,000 years and then God leaves and there's like a little season where Satan gets to rule before it's all said and done.
I think we have to
Or
be
do you not?
careful. I think we have, because it doesn't ever say God leaves, I don't think.
No?
But
I
Satan
don't know.
does rule. He rules. And if we think about it, it's the dragon, actually. So if we think about what's happening right now, yeah, the dragon,
the same dragon you're referring to, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So in Revelation, I think a lot of people look at that as two different times. Like when all that stuff it's talking about, the dragon, and the beast, and the dragon giving power to the beast and all that stuff. Some people look at it as that being a time and before that millennium, and then after the millennium, that he would be loosed at the end of the millennium for, I think that that's kind of one thing, but I think that I don't think that, well, basically what happens in my understanding is that Satan gathers a bunch of people, or the dragon gathers a bunch of people together to go and attack the kingdom, like that Jesus rules in New Jerusalem. So they come up to the earth, or however they get to the earth, and I think that it's an army trying to. I think that is. It doesn't mean that Christ isn't reigning. See, I think we're at a time right now where I think he's flying with the clouds, uttering his voice, and I think that people are hearing his voice and learning what I think that we are learning what he's telling us, like what he's teaching.
Absolutely, man. Like how I was telling you before the show started, how like with literally these past 2 weeks, I find myself in my own book, you know,
and it's like
it's been years since
a hunger, right? It's like a hunger.
It's weird, dude. I'm literally reading a couple verses a day, and I haven't had that in years, man. That's
good.
Yeah, dude.
I get so much from every time I pick up,
and it's not a lot. It's not even, it's. I literally started at James, and I don't know. I just picked it up in something, and I remember a long time ago there was this pastor who baptized me years ago. And I remember him telling somebody in front of me who was asking him, they asked him, what would where would you start reading? And he was like, oh, Book of James. And that always stuck with me. And then like a couple weeks ago, I don't know, I just picked it up and something in my head was like, you know what, you should read that again. And
I know what that is. I know what that is. There's a chapter in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, and it describes the whole chapter is about the return of Jesus. And before he comes, he is up in the clouds uttering his voice for people to hear him in the world before he comes. And he's flying up there, and he carves out a mountain. It says he carves out, because this is what Ezra saw. He saw him carve out a mountain without hands, and Ezra couldn't see where it was that he carved it, but Jesus flew up onto it. And from there, he was uttering his voice, and everybody in the world has had the opportunity to hear his voice, because he was teaching them about Mount Zion, uttering his voice about Mount Zion, because it said Mount Zion came and was made manifest to everyone. And to me, I know I'm not saying that flat earth is Mount Zion, but what I am saying is that the concept of the earth that we lived on being a solar system spinning ball world has left me. That's not in me anymore. It's gone. And it's the best thing that's happened, like as far as understanding what the truth is. To know that God is above us and that his throne is like above the firmament, or however that all is laid out there. I don't think it matters specifically what it is. But if you ask any child that's like 5 years old, where does God live? They're just going to point up at the sky up there.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
Because they haven't been ruined yet.
That is exactly what my boys say. It is so simple to them.
And it's automatic. It's almost like they already knew it. And then when they come into this world is when they get taught the lie. And like, just growing up in this solar system idea, I just don't like that whole thing. To me it's that great city that reigns over the kings of the earth. It's what this world believes that's a lie. And I just see the dragon capsule that they're so popular now with people. You can't hardly look up the news without finding something about the dragon. Like they're always, it's just in this world today. I mean, there's a dragon flying up what people consider to be the heavens, and they call it space too. But
I can't help but think that like this whole the whole blue beam project type deal, Willow, where it's like faking alien invasion or whatever, you know what I mean? But what if those are like actual signs from the heavens or whatever, you know, and we're totally missing it because half of the world thinks that it's an alien invasion, and then you know, the not necessarily the other half of the world, because the other half of the world doesn't think like we do, but you got all the normies thinking it's alien stuff. There will be a group of people thinking it's some type of spiritual thing, but then you got us who will just cast it away as blue beam deception when it could be something very important happening. Like, you know, like I think looking up into the sky, people need to do it more. You know, I think it's for signs for a reason, signs and seasons.
And
You know,
it literally is our calendar. I mean, the whole world uses it as to tell what day it
it's
is,
a
what year it
literal
is.
clock. Yeah,
It's a clock, and it's
we live in a clock.
Now, what happens when? Now you're saying about looking up, and that's something that I've noticed. A lot of people that believe the things we believe refuse to look up, and I think it's because they feel as though if they look up and see things up there that men have put up there, that somehow what they believe isn't true or something. And it's not like that at all. The way I see it, the world's flat and there's a sky above it, and men have sent things up into the sky, and they've found this very specific little keyhole that if they do it just right, that they can go into another world where they can stay, where we don't need fuel and there is no atmosphere to slow you down. It's literally another world. And they say physics applies to everything.
It's the
in the
bottomless
solar system.
pit, right?
It literally is. That's what NASA says. It's a deep abyss of black darkness, and everyone there, anything there, any satellite or anything like that is in a state of free fall. Otherwise, it's not going to be there. It's going to fall down to the earth just like anything else would. And so in Revelation, it talks about Apollyon, and it talks about the angel of the bottomless pit, and being given a key to the bottomless pit. I think that the only key there is rockets or something like that. I'm like the shuttle or whatever, but rockets.
Bro, they're doing slingshots now. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah,
they are
right.
doing slingshots now, but they're doing like a fucking.
Well, they did a test, and
dude,
they did a test. It was like I think a quarter scale test or something, but 10,000 G's. It has to anything that's on, payload has to withstand 10,000 G's. So, like,
man, dude,
to spin that
I
fast,
cannot get past that shit.
It's a joke.
Like, like the whole space idea is just.
Hey, there we go. FSB. I think that's
yeah, FSB.
I know who that is.
I love that guy. He's cool, man. I love his stuff. I'm gonna reach out to him. Is that
Flat Smack Biblical, right?
Yep, right? That's right.
Okay,
Flat Smack Biblical.
I had him. He came over on my channel and visited one time.
Yeah.
But what did he just say? It was space is fake. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
I can agree with that, but I think that's kind of what we're talking about here. To us, it's fake. We're like, yeah, right. But if we try to understand it in a way where, like I was talking about, the rubber meeting the road with the top fuel dragster, that's like the height of technology. Well, our military has jets, and guys like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, they laugh at the thrust that a jet engine makes. They're like, yeah, that's like kids play, because of the amount of thrust that, like, the shuttle or the Apollo, what do they call that one? The Saturn V, like that's the height of the ability of man. And so there's two ways to look at it. I'm not saying that they know what they're doing. They don't even know what happens when they go up there. They're learning it as they go. So they found out that if they go really fast sideways, they can put something up there and it won't need any fuel anymore. And it would basically essentially stay up there forever. And that's where the whole bottomless pit comes into it. So science and NASA will tell you that it's a place of darkness where everything is falling perpetually. That's what the bottomless pit is, right? So I say this, the space station, which is, we could call it whatever we wanted to, the fake station, or we could call it, like, I believe that it's actually a man-made metal piece of junk that has been launched piece by piece up to that keyhole where there's that special place. It's not just up in the sky. It's, you have to get there just very specifically, perfectly to get there. And when you do, then they started discovering, oh, okay, we can have orbiting and like different orbits and stuff. But really, what all they're doing is they're just like a slingshot. They're the rocket. They're just sending something in there and letting it go. That's what they're doing. They're just sending it and letting it go. And the direction that they send it, or the speed that they send it, or how high they let go of it, that's going to determine its trajectory. And now they've even gone further than that. And so now they have little thrusters on these satellites that can reposition the satellites with, like, according to whatever they want, where they want them to be, so they can move them around in their orbits. And all of this has only been discovered by trying it. Like Neil Armstrong said, he did some high altitude test flights. And he said that when he got high enough in the air, he would try to, tip his, whatever it is, his flaps or whatever, and he would try to steer down, but nothing would happen. And it would take a long time till he started going down, like for the air to react off of the wings. There was nothing to like steer from or anything up there. It was just like, he was just almost freely going, not really slowing down much. And so it's like, let's go a little faster then. And that's what they did. And then they found that when they get up to, when you get up in the air, or out of the air, I should say, that's why they can go faster than bullets, is because they can only add to their velocity. They can't slow down unless they literally fire a rocket engine the opposite way. And I know there's the argument of you can't push off of a vacuum, and I get that. And I'm not saying I understand it or anything, but what people have experienced, I'm saying, when they go up out of the air, is they've experienced no reaction from an airplane wing. That's why you can only fly so high. But if they go fast enough up, and if you were on a magic carpet in space, like, go to your imaginary place here that we were raised in. But if you were up in space on a magic carpet and you had a gun in your hand, and you stood on your magic carpet and you shot the gun, when the bullet came out of the gun, it would go one direction. Would that make your carpet go the opposite direction at all? I would think it would, but I don't know.
I don't think so.
It's just a concept, but I would think that it would, because you have your hand kicks back when you shoot the gun, right? So that that whole
here, not.
That's what I mean here. And I actually made a video.
And that's how science is. That's exactly like on
they apply.
Earth, yeah, science applies. But up there, they can just fucking do whatever they want.
They say that physics applies up there. And actually, I have another channel called Flatter Every Day. And I use the same kind of logo that Smarter Every Day uses, but it's got a flat earth on it in the brain. But anyway.
That's you. I'm sub to you. I'm sub to.
Yeah, on that channel, I did a video called Physics in Heaven, I think. And we could even go to, it's a good video because it talks about applying physics to heaven. And that's the dumbest thing that we could do, is apply physics to heaven. There is no physics in heaven. Right.
Physics is applied here because there are rules that are established here.
We experience rules them.
Right.
We experience them, so we know them. And so they look up at, it was Galileo that looked up at Jupiter, and he added actually a lot of credibility to the idea of gravity being that force, because of the moons that went around Jupiter. He's like, they're going around Jupiter. Well, those are just lights going around another light, first of all. But it's assumptions like that add, oh yeah, it must be gravity. And then the world all of a sudden now talks about gravity as if it's a god. Literally, no, that's gravity. But yeah, I couldn't believe that the sign language interpreter quit today. That was crazy. At the White House. I don't know if he got that. That was at the beginning of the I made a video just right before we went on. I uploaded. So that was from today at NASA. They had that was at NASA. I don't know where, but they had like a bunch of. They had the vice president there, and they were talking about STEM research, like getting children into it. Talking about getting our world ready for space combat. And whoever had the highest technology would have the highest ground when it came to space wars. And I'm like, how can you have a space station that's international and it's an agreement, but you're also going to say that you're going to be fighting up in those airspace or whatever that space? How does that work?
All right, let me say something. Let me ask something because I just remembered, right? So you're saying you think that the ISS, I'm just sorry, my son's
no, it's all good.
But it's like, so they go and now they're perpetually falling sideways, right?
Yeah.
How are they ever coming back here if they are like going sideways forever?
They have to just slow down. If they slow down and
I'm saying, are they orbiting above us perpetually, or are they just going in a straight line through an ever falling abyss, but still within the same place above us?
Like saying, well, they can see the Earth still, so the Earth is beneath them the whole time. Isn't that something? The Earth is beneath them. The space station has a bottom to it. It's not just like they say there's no direction in space. There's no up or down. That's BS. There's an up and down everywhere. And even the astronauts talk about it on the space station. They're like, we could orient ourselves any way we wanted to, but we point the cupola down and we operate that way because the cupola is what they look at the Earth through. So it's down all the time, down. So there is an up and down on the space station. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that what they're experiencing up there, I think is they're doing circles over the Earth, and that people would make the argument, well, if they were doing a circle over the Earth, they would be able to tell because they would always be floating to the one side of the space station, right? They'd always be floating.
No, they wouldn't. Outside. They wouldn't be able to tell. They wouldn't be able to tell. They would be told like the Earth is so big. They would have no idea that they would think they're going around a ball. You know, the same way planes think they're going around a ball.
Yeah,
you know,
no, I know.
Really not. You know,
but what I'm saying is, if they were going in a circle, they would be that inertia, that outward acceleration that they would experience. But what I'm saying is they're not going to experience any outward acceleration because there's no such thing in a place without physics like we have here on Earth. When you take a right turn in your car, you feel your body sink into the left side of the seat. Not in heaven. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at it as a different realm where anything that we would be able to experience up there is made up. It's like just made up in the moment that we're experiencing. Like when they play with water up there and it's like like a ball of water. Oh, that's surface tension. And they do all this science about it, but all they're doing is misleading themselves. And they've entered into a place that's filled with evil spirits that are trying to deceive them. And I'll tell you what, angels, I think I have I don't know what the right word is, but they can definitely deceive men with, like, they don't have to try real hard to deceive men. And they can do it simply by taking the form of a planet or maybe even a meteor or I don't know, lots of different things probably, or a comet, right? I just think that, I got one for you. We should talk about Enoch chapter 80. You ready to do that?
Yeah, sorry. I was listening. I just was handling some business. My son was upset. I don't know if you heard him, but he was upset for me.
I did not.
Okay.
Let's see here. Okay, so there's so many places in Enoch where it seems like this story is taking place. I'm saying the story that we're experiencing right now, the one that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there was a time, this is in Enoch chapter 80, finding it here. Okay, verse 7, and this is talking about, it says, perversion of nature in the heavenly bodies owing to the sin of men. And this is in the days of the end. But it says in verse 7, it says, and the whole order of the stars shall be concealed from the sinners, and the thoughts of those on the earth shall err concerning them. And they shall be altered from all their ways. Yea, they shall err and take them to be gods. And evil shall be multiplied upon them, and punishment shall come upon them, so as to destroy all. So that's what I'm talking about when I read about the grace of God. Like if we were all like horrible sinners in the eyes of God, and then if he sent his spirit to teach us what righteousness was, to teach us what it was that he considered to be righteousness, I think a lot of people in the world wouldn't want to hear it, but I just think that that's what's happening right now, is that it's by the grace of God that we can see any of this truth, because we've all lived I'll call it our previous life, or our recent life before this. We've all lived that with the same everything that we have right now, except for the eyes to see. We see something that we could not see before, and to me, that's a miracle. I compare it with when he rubbed he took the dirt and made spittle and rubbed it in that blind man's eyes and told him to go wash in that pool. And when the guy washed his eyes off, he could see. And I'm like, I feel like that is happening to so many of us, and actually,
hell yeah, absolutely, dude.
Me and Tony from Coffee House Theology, if you guys aren't subscribed, he does Bible studies a lot, and he's just a guy like me or you, and it's I just like going there. He's got a lot of interesting thoughts. But
dude, I watch a couple Bible studies a week.
There's a lot in there that's so
a couple now,
relevant.
Yeah. I enjoy them.
And I just for me, what were we talking about? I just forgot about it now. But I lost my train of thought there. I don't remember what I was bringing him up for. We were on the phone earlier.
Yeah, it was about we're all going through that same thing. We're all going through that same process, having that same feeling.
Yeah, and I don't remember what I was going to say about that. But I just think it's
my bad.
No, it's all good. That happens to me a lot, where I just like blank out and I'm like, what was I talking about again? Happens to me while I'm live.
Who's the one smoking here? No, I'm just
Hey, I'm not on camera. I'm just kidding. But no, so in Enoch, though, this story, it seems to me to be in there. At the end, there's a time. Actually, let me go to Enoch chapter. I can put this up on desktop just for the fun of it. Let's see here. How do I do that? Let's do desktop. Oh, I'm sharing my screen, aren't I? Let me stop sharing. Sorry about that.
Yeah, all right, bro.
Okay, let's see. All right. You can see the book of Enoch, I think, right? Let's see.
Yeah, I see. I just brought you up full screen.
Okay, 93, chapter 93. So this is like the apocalypse of weeks, and it seems to be describing all of time. Like it did, and it does it in weeks, like the first week, the second week, or whatever. I was born the 7th in the first week. But when we get down to the bottom to the 7th week, I think, verse 9, it says, and after that, in the 7th week, shall an apostate generation arise, and many shall be its deeds, and all its deeds shall be apostate. And I think that word apostate just means like, I think that's the same as like fallen away or like away, away from faith in God. So that's like, they wouldn't believe in God in it could be sort of saying that, but all its deeds shall be apostate. And look at this though. And at its close shall be elected the elect righteous of the eternal plant of righteousness. I don't really know what that means. But then it says to receive sevenfold instruction concerning all his creation. So at the end, in the 7th week, there's going to be a generation of people that were fallen away from God. And there, it says at its close, like at the end of it, there would be the elect, or the elect righteous of the eternal plant of righteousness would be elected to receive instruction concerning all his creation. I have to say that I believe that we have been receiving instruction concerning
Yes.
his creation.
Yeah, I'd say.
And then look what it says after that. I love reading this part after that because it kind of puts it into perspective of what we do know. Like, you know, if you ask any of the anti-flat earth channels or whatever, Simon Dan or any of those guys, if you ask them, do we know everything? There's actually a possibility that they might say yes, but no, they really wouldn't. They would say, no, there's a lot we don't know.
Oh,
But
dude.
but
They
we were
would
taught
yeah.
in
Fucking
school
gamma.
that we already know everything. I mean, if you go to Google, ask it how big is the earth, ask it
It's
how
all
fast is the earth moving.
there's nothing else to explore, Truman. You know what
That's
I mean?
exactly what
Like,
comes to my mind. No, we already
yeah.
found it all. There's no reason to go out and
We
look.
know what's happening trillions of miles away. We know when it was born, which was
We know
millions of
that it's
miles of years
trillions of miles
ago.
away.
We know when it's gonna die. We know what it's made of. We know when
The
it fucking
center pebble
farts.
of Jupiter weighs 63 billion quadrillion tons, and it's radioactive because we know that because of what we can see through our telescope or something. But anyway,
Yeah.
so it says here, you guys will love this because it puts us in like, it kind of puts us in our place where we should be, I think. It says, for who is there of all the children of men that is able to hear the voice of the Holy One without being troubled? And who can think his thoughts? And who is there that can behold all the works of heaven? And how should there be one who could behold the heaven? And who is there that could understand the things of heaven and see a soul or a spirit and could tell thereof, or ascend and see all their ends and think them or do like them? And who is there of all men that could know what is the breadth and the length of the earth? And to whom has been shown the measure of all of them? Or is there anyone who could discern the length of the heaven, and how great is its height, and upon what it is founded, and how great is the number of the stars, and where all the luminaries rest? Like, if anybody answered, I could, like, that would just be a lie of an answer. Nobody can. We don't know these things.
Actually, we know that already. We figured that out 1,000
Yeah, the
years
moon
ago.
is 238,000 miles
Yeah.
away, and it has a whatever orbit. Like, that's an idea. That's a concept. And I don't have a problem with the concept.
And
Like,
where
when
is this one from? Where's this verse
this
from?
was in this is in Enoch chapter 93. And that was actually starting in verse 11 through 14, but we actually started in verse 9 because that's when it was talking about that 7th generation, or that apostate generation. So I do see a time when there'd be a wicked world, and I don't have any problem imagining that we're living in that wicked world that this is talking about. And I believe that it was the whole world, even us. And then, and it's something that we've been taken out of. Oh, and that's another one in the Bible. It says many different times the Lord says that he will put a new spirit in people. And I better look that one up. It's in Ezekiel, I know, is one place. It says it more than once, though. I think it's in Ezekiel.
Well,
37.
I just like that we're getting scripture like this coming from Book of Enoch. I think, I'm not, I'm not the one to like throw my eggs in all one basket because honestly, I don't know anything. The only thing I truly know is I don't know shit. you know, I
I
also
think
know we
that's,
don't live on a spinning fucking ball, but
yep.
you know,
Two very important things you just said right there. That
but I think it's
you know that you don't know everything. That's
right.
like, there was one time when right at that same blind man I was talking about that Jesus told him, put that mud in his eyes and told him to go wash. That same guy, Jesus saw him later on, and he was in the temple, and the Pharisees were hounding him. Who did this? Who? And they were accusing him. Oh, weren't ever blind, but everybody knew the guy, and so they got his parents and said, "How is your son? Is this your son or whatever?" And like they were making a big deal out of it, and they were kind of interrogating this guy and everything. He's like, "A man named Jesus told me to wash, and I washed, and now I see." Like he was just explaining to them it was like impossible what happened, but here I am. And the parents were like, we don't know how it happened, but yeah, that's our son. He's been blind his whole life, but here he is standing, like that miracle. Um, Later on, Jesus went and to him when they were kind of interrogating him, and it's basically it revealed to him that he was God, or that he was the Lord. And uh, and then he was like, or yeah, the guy said, well, who is he that I might believe in him or whatever? Because the guy he was healed, and then the Pharisees were standing by, and they were like, because he was talking about seeing or being blind, and the Pharisees like they got the idea that Jesus was saying that they're blind, and I think he was, but um, they're like, are we blind too? And Jesus said something, I don't know exactly what he said, but it was something like, if because you say that you see, you're blind. And you kind of just reiterated that. I don't know anything. Like
Right.
to be able to say that, it puts you in a place where you're ready to know things that are real. Like
Right.
it puts you in
Well,
perfect
that's the thing.
frame of
I'm ready
mind.
to learn things. Like for example, I had this curiosity. Not only like I have all these urges, looking up and finding things out and looking into things, and then same thing with picking up this book, and then also been having an urge and all these conversations with my sister when she comes over here, stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
is getting into these other books that you know people would like to say that's not canon. Like I feel like there's a reason why these books are not. There's hundreds of
Yeah.
books, and now there's only 66.
Yeah.
Ironic number. I think not.
Yeah, no kidding. And then
I
one of those that was removed is, I brought it up a couple times, Second
please.
Ezra's that Ezra wrote. One of those in chapter, I think it's 14 of Ezra, a lot of the scriptures had been destroyed completely, and God basically took Ezra and told him to get some scribes and some writing pads or whatever, writing things, and to go out into a field, and that he would rewrite certain scriptures or whatever. And so him and 4 or 5 guys went out to a field and started writing. And it wasn't that they were writing or anything. It was that Ezra was all of a sudden this cup of something looked like fire, but it was in like liquid form. And he was told to drink it. So he drank it. And then he said his mouth didn't stop until uh, like evening or whatever. And then basically it wasn't him talking. It was the spirit talking through him or whatever. And then the men that were the scribes that were writing it down, they were writing it all in a language or whatever writing that they didn't understand. They didn't know what they were writing down. And Ezra was told they wrote something like 94 books, I think. And Ezra was told to hide 70 of those, I think. And 24 of them, or either way, way or the other. He was told to hide them, and that they would be like, I don't remember the word it used, but they would be like a filling meal, or like they would be food for the people in another generation. And I'm like, that's probably part of the reason why some of these were either taken out or weren't put in at all, was because because God intended for it to be that way, I think. But so this says in Ezekiel 37, verse 21, it says, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. What's flat earth, guys? Like, I know it's not a place, like, as far as like, oh, I went to Flat Earth USA, but it's more of a, like, how do we all know each other?
It's a journey.
It's a journey, and it's like a truth journey, right? I'd say it's a truth journey. And here's one interesting thing that I brought up to Austin earlier, but the last thing that Jesus said before he was crucified, well, he said a few things while he was on the cross, but one of the last things he said, he was in the judgment hall with Pilate. And Pilate, let's see here. Pilate, where is it? Verse 37. Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then? Jesus answered, Thou sayest I'm a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. So when Ezra sees him uttering his voice from that mountain that he carved out and flew up onto in chapter 13 of 2nd Esdras, I think that's what this is. And actually in Revelation, John saw some people that were singing a song, and it was a new song that the world couldn't hear, that the world couldn't learn, I mean. And they were singing that song on a mountain, on Mount Zion, with the Lamb, with the Son of God. They were together singing that song on that mountain. And so I think personally, and I know there's a lot of people here. I saw Ceiling Fan Man is here, and that he just came to mind because I know that
I'm sure he's still listening in the background.
I know that he's had a profound thing happen in his life because of the words of Jesus. And the things that Jesus said, he was saying them to us, and he was saying them to them too. But he said a lot of things, and there's 2 times that I'm aware of that Jesus said, I'm telling you these things now so that when they come to pass, you might believe. And to me, that's like powerful, because the things that are coming to pass now, like, I think many of them are exactly what Jesus said. And I think when we see, he did that for a reason, I think. And when we, like, that's why reading the book of James and stuff that you're reading, you're finding, I don't know what the right word is. You're finding value in it when you haven't before, maybe. And to me, I told you earlier, that same thing happened to me. I just found this hunger for it. And there was the things I was reading in it seemed to be like directly related to my life somehow, in strong ways. And so I know people say the Bible is written by men. Yep, it's penned by men. But the words that are in it aren't just a pile of letters. They're not even necessarily words.
I think when we read it, we give it life. I think that the living word is like us, and when we read it, you know, certain things will resonate with us at certain times. Like you could read a verse you know nothing about, or don't even really understand it, means nothing to you, and you could be going through something, and
it'll resonate
meaning with you this next time, like it's the first time you fucking read it, and it's like this epiphany moment, you know. And
that's the Holy Spirit that does that.
I'm not even the one to really to discuss my, I guess I would call it relationship, because it can become so divisive, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But
that's between a person and God.
Absolutely. I do try to keep the details to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shout out to Dearth in the chat.
DITRH is a legend.
Man. Yeah, man.
You can't even handle more than 7,000 Gs. Jeez. Man, you ain't going on a slingshot then.
First.
You ain't going on a slingshot.
Yeah.
That's
But you know, where was I
yeah,
going with
no, I
that?
like
But it's really a personal journey for myself, and I
that's
mean,
funny
I
that you
used
bring
to
up
do Bible.
DIGRH because people
Yeah.
hound him. People
Oh,
hound him about
absolutely.
that, and he says he has the perfect answer for it. None of your business.
Dude, I loved that fucking answer. You know what? I loved it when he said it like
Well,
that, you know?
who can
Because it
argue with
isn't
that?
anybody's business. And who
Who can
is,
argue with that?
you know, just like anybody else, you don't
That's the
know, you know?
that's what we were saying, it can be divisive, and it's not like I'll bet you anything that I could call up David and we'd have a good conversation and we'd probably talk about those things. But that's because I'm not out to attack him. I'm not out to get dirt on Austin so I can, talk about Austin on my channel and diss on him or something because he thinks he's this and he says this and him and God and this or which God and like all that
Dude,
kind of
I've
stuff. And I'm
gotten
like,
comments saying like, "Oh, you smoke pot, and that gives a bad look to Flat Earth, so I'm unsubbing you, and I'm unsubbing you at Odyssey." And I'm like,
go for it,
"Okay,
unsub
dude.
then.
Like,
That's
I
what I
don't
would
even want
say. I
someone
would
like
say
that
unsub
around." Like,
because who wrote a rule that, first of all, like if you're in the Bible, you could find out about cannabis. It might be like in the form of an oil or something like that. What I'm saying is it's always been a popular thing on the earth, always, all throughout time. There wasn't a time when people were like, "Hey, let's be hippie.
mm-hmm.
Let's smoke weed." That was just like a thing. I don't know whatever happened, but what I'm saying is that it's been a medicine forever, and it's been a positive thing for many people
Right,
all
Zach?
throughout
Look at
time.
Zach. That's so true. Dude's never been to a freaking flat Earth meetup. That's for
Yep.
sure. You don't
You know
know
what's
what he's
funny is
talking
that
about.
there's something funny about that, but I've noticed two things, and this kind of like off the wall here, but that's one of the things that I've noticed is that one time I don't remember where I was, but it was when I was first hearing about flat Earth. Someone somewhere, like in a chat or a comment or something, someone said, um, grass gives you, or what did he say? It was catchy what he said. Grass gives you insight, something like that. And it made me think, and I'm like, you know, it could or it couldn't. But if that guy said that it gives you insight, probably means that it gave him insight or whatever, or he thinks it does or whatever.
Yeah, I
But
think so.
to me, there's a lot of people like about the flat earth meetup. There's a lot of people that see through lies that also do that. And then there's one other thing that I've noticed is that like on Facebook, a lot of the Facebook friends I have that are flat earthers have died before or nearly died, like on their deathbed or something. And then they've been brought back
I
somehow.
feel like a lot of us have had some type of traumatic experience or been
Yeah.
through some type of trauma that, you know, they come
Yeah.
out on the other end.
And that's
It
so
just,
like,
yeah.
it's interesting. I don't know if I think I was talking to you on Monday or whatever on the phone, and it's it we were talking about the book of Isaiah a little bit, and there's like so much in there, but I get the idea that it said God, the people he was going to choose, he didn't choose them because they were like his good people. He chose them because they were what Isaiah said in the furnace of affliction. That's who he was going to choose. So I'm like, that's interesting to me that people that have been in some kind of drama or whatever you call it, that seem to be maybe it's maybe it gives you a level head when it comes to some of these things. I don't really know.
Hell yeah.
Is Eiling or is that Eiling
That's
717?
Cammy.
Is that Cammy? Okay, I
Yeah.
was pretty sure it was, but
What'd you
but
say it? How'd you
that was a
say it?
great that was a great show when you guys did that.
Man, it
And
was an amazing show. Dude, I'm telling you,
how does
I
she
have learned
have
so much from her.
how does
Like,
she have so much knowledge about just like all these things I've never even heard of?
She is a wealth of knowledge. She has been
Yes.
looking into all of these different, from down like every mythology, all the biblical references of the sky and everything. She's been down every avenue to try and come up with something. And dude, she's amazing.
Gary Feltham in the chat says, I suffered serious trauma and died. You're correct. I don't know why that is, but I'm
I've
just
seen
saying,
a couple comments like that.
I took amoxicillin, which is very common antibiotic that people take all the time, and I found out that I was allergic to it, and it was bad. I almost died. It was really bad.
Yeah, I'm not trying to take that shit anymore.
No, me either.
I've been taking
this in 2011.
I can't say it properly.
Colloidal
silver. Yeah.
I've never
Vitamin
tried that.
C.
I hear it's supposed to be good.
Yeah, I've been feeling good. Yeah.
But yeah, I think
I got some DMSO, but I haven't used any of it.
What was that stuff you were advertising at the beginning of the show? That's probably pretty nice.
Oh yeah, you mean my sponsors from Grounded
Yeah,
Extracts?
the flat Earth clock, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, for real, dog.
DITRH wanted to come on and say hi and do a quick promo for his
Yeah,
app.
right.
I'm just kidding. And by the way, DITRH,
Mind in
if
nature,
you're
what
still
you
listening,
thought only the unnatural world could offer. Yeah, but they have a bunch of products, all natural products and stuff.
There you go.
I have I forgot what it was called. It's up in my cabinet, but he gave it to me for toothaches, and I put it on, and dude, it
really?
fucking works. Yeah, I've been using that and the coconut oil and stuff.
No, if DITRH is still listening, I don't have the app yet, and it's because I don't have like any online money account. So I do it like I just deal with cash or whatever. So I got no way to get it, David. I'm up a creek.
Gift that shit. Gift that shit. I'm a Patreon of his. He sent me. I've gifted him a bunch, like to my sister, my niece, all kinds of people did.
I met him
It's a perfect way to show somebody because that's what a lot of people need. They need a little visual, you know.
Yeah,
and just to show them the sun and the moon and all that. Yeah.
When he does interviews, he's good at that. He pulls that stuff up like quicker than like before they even say like, imagine you're in a moving train. He's got something up on the back screen ready to go already. He's quick.
Yeah. They're great. He's
waking a lot of people up, man. Like I always say in my mind, you know, like we were talking about heaven, you know, we're talking about that place that whatever Sheol or whatever, where people are resting or whatever. I always say like in heaven, DITRH is a legend already. Like they're always like, oh yeah, he's doing another interview. Cause I know that like in my heart, I know that the thing that is happening in this world right now, it's happening because we were all wrong. Everybody, we were all wrong. And so if you want to learn like a child and be, I think, born again, like, I mean, all these terms that are so like heavy with controversy, they shouldn't be that heavy. There is, I could say, and I even know Jaron uses that phrase every once in a while because he's experienced something, a change that he didn't do. And I just think like, to me, that's what that's all about. It's, this world has a lot of whatever temptations and the thing, if we just went with what the world does and we just acted however we wanted to, but then when you see that there's a morality that's a step higher than what the world expects, then that becomes, if you're doing that or if you're seeking that, it's you can only do that because of the Holy Spirit. That's what I mean. The changes that have happened in my life, and I think Austin, I think you could probably say the same thing. Some of the changes that have happened in my life, impossible for me to do. I couldn't do it myself. No chance. But then they happen. Small things happen. Big things happen. And it's all I can say is that it's not me that's able to do that. I don't have that ability.
You know what? I feel like it's not like I don't have that ability. It's like I realize that God, the Creator, has given me that ability. You know, like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is
you
that
know,
you're the only way that you could do that, like with your past, like coming
like
off
I've
of some of those
always had
things.
it. It's just it's always been there for me. You know,
Hmm.
it
But to actually
because
do it
but I didn't know
is
that.
very hard.
I wasn't there. I wasn't in a right state of mind. And I guess going through everything that I went through
Hmm.
was like to
And
help me get there. And then finding flat earth at that point of getting my life on the right path, it's like I became born again, you know?
yeah, and that's
And
actually something that is important, I think, is I don't know what it means. I don't know what being born again means. I mean, I know what the Bible says, being born of the Spirit of God
I
instead
never
of the
knew
way we
what
were
it meant.
born.
It didn't, like, I used to do Bible studies when I was younger before I got hooked on all that dope and shit,
Hmm.
on heroin, meth, all that stuff, you know? And that never resonated with me to be born again and all that. Like, what, like, you know, but then going through this, it's like, whoa. And then flat earth, whoa, this place is created. We're special.
Yeah.
What is going on here? Whoa. It's like I blew up, and anything in my way, watch the fuck out. Like
Yeah.
I
It
was
was,
absorbing all of it. Every day is
yep.
like everything was new, and
And your
you're just,
memory, you could
dude, it's
repeat
just
it
on.
without even
I'm
thinking
telling you,
about it.
it's all
Yeah.
about levels. I'm on a totally another level. Like my whole life has completely changed the way I think. I'm not cloudy. Like I have a vision and goals, and my family is straight. My boys are good. Like everything. Like
Yeah. You have, like, your
everything, dude.
testimony is powerful, man. The way, the things that you, and actually there's a channel called Iron Realm Media. And I don't know,
Fucking
like,
love those guys,
I'm
dude.
new there. I'm new there. I think I heard about him from you, but I'm new there. And I'm not going to say any
Those are
names
my
or anything.
brothers right there.
There was a show, I don't know, it was like a week, 2 weeks ago, something like that, maybe a week ago. And it was at night. And I have a long drive home from work. It's like over an hour. And I happened to flip over there, and I was listening the whole way back home to someone's testimony. And I think I'm friends with them on Facebook, but um what a powerful thing happened to this person. um they had tried to commit suicide, and the story that was being
Right,
told
right.
uh
Powerful.
gave me goosebumps. And I, like, it puts a lot into perspective about how fragile life is, first of all. And then when a person is um lost, for whatever reason, they've lost their family or their children or whatever it is. um I just think it's powerful when someone can get back their ability to look positive on things and to actually do things that they couldn't do before, and they come out of something awful, like your situation. You were stuck in a rut of, this is what I got to do, this is what I got to do, and like you don't want to get sick, like you were talking
Oh,
about, and
dude,
stuff
I
like
was in
that.
a hell. I was in a living
Yeah.
hell, bro.
And to look at you
And
today.
repeating it in like insanity, dude. Repeating it every day of
Yeah,
my
and it,
life.
like, where you
Oh
get
my god,
old, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, but
I couldn't
everything
stop.
everything around you had to keep you doing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
dude. I
just think
was
that's one of the most powerful things, to see something. And it actually reminds me of something. The whole idea of Jesus dying on the cross. And that's another thing that I don't understand, all of that. I don't understand why all that had to happen, and I want to, but um when the whole idea was that blood that he shed uh cleanses us from unrighteousness. Now, I'm not saying I know how that happens and everything like that, but I can tell you that I've experienced that happen. And that's probably more powerful than me telling you that it happens. Do you know
right.
what I'm saying? I've experienced that in my
Another
own
thing
life.
is like, oh man, I just lost my fucking train of thought. Another thing. Damn, I lost my train of thought.
Let me read this then. This will get
Oh
maybe
yeah,
get it back.
so
Okay, go ahead.
like it's man, I lost it, man. Damn it. I was gonna talk about the whole
like overcoming that what you had to overcome, maybe.
Yeah, but it was damn, I lost it. It'll come back to me.
So let me read this
Someone
to
in
you.
the chat will remind me, like not even knowing, because it was something I read in the chat and it. Go ahead.
What does it mean to take a Stavely moment? What does that mean?
Smoke a joint. Get
high.
high.
Okay. Yeah,
Get
do
Stavely.
it. The Naikas.
I've been doing it the whole time. We're about to wrap it up here in a little bit, but testimony, a powerful testimony. Yes, I got it back. So,
all right.
Speaking of powerful testimonies, next week, December 8th, 7 p.m. Eastern, we are going to have Breaking the Chains of Addiction Volume 2. It's going to be the second one of the series.
I want to know more.
I want to know more. Yes, Jeremy from I Want to Know More. My brother, dude. I love that dude. We text a lot. We text often. We talk. He's a great guy. He has a very powerful story that I think is really going to resonate with people. And we also are going to have Josh from Iron Realm Media on, who I know for a fact is going to bring the heat. I'm guaranteed that he's going to have a great story to tell. I resonate with both of them a lot. And if there's anybody out there I also want to say this. So, there's some people out here that's like, yo, why would you tell people, like your business like that, like you was on drugs and da-da-da-da, right? And there's a part of me that, yeah, it's like, why would I do that, But at that same time, I was doing that for almost 10 years. Everyone around me, I got numb to the fact that people around me looked at me that way. So it doesn't even matter. I'm not that person anymore. And now it's like, that doesn't even.
It's a story of victory.
Yeah, that outweighs that right there out like so much. And I'm turning it into inspiration for others, honestly. Yes. And the feedback that I get from that is it is a satisfaction. Like I get a really good feeling.
How about this?
Like in my chest, so it's amazing. You know
what? I got to just share this with you. It's crazy, Austin. What you're saying is just, it's so much. Okay. If I was to say, Revelation 12 verse 11, it says in there, it says, and they overcame him. That's talking about the dragon. They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. And when you're talking about people saying that you shouldn't be sharing all that, that's kind of personal stuff that you don't have to give out. Well, that's why your testimony, that's why you're giving your testimony, is because it's selfless. It's not to help you in your life, because like that, it's going to help people overcome.
See, that's why I wanted to start doing this. Like, there's other people that are out doing this for other reasons, and my reason was to, like, yo, I got out of that. I want to help other
people get out.
I can help others get out of that. And it's like I was built to go through that, experience that, and now it's like, let me at least try to help others get out of that, or people who are getting themselves out, they find me, and they're like, it's just a support system, because you need a support system through this. You absolutely do. Absolutely.
And if you're just like hiding your past to save your name or something, you're not going to be like someone that is in the middle of that struggle, and they find your channel, they find your testimony, and they hear it. Now they're actually closer to the end of that than they were before, because they're like, yeah, I'm going to do what he did. Because if someone else can do it, you can do it, right? You know what I'm saying? And so if they have your testimony, they have their testimony, that's something that I admire a lot, for you to be able to do. So don't take it too seriously when people say that's something you don't need to do, because I think that that's probably one of the things you're called to do.
Yeah, well, it's like also people don't probably understand why I wanted to start doing this, but it's great, and we're gonna have it next week. It's gonna be an amazing time. So if there's anybody out there that has gone through an addiction and have conquered that addiction, and want to share their story, their testimony, if you will, reach out to me. Okay,
I used to
Kaiju
smoke the
King.
globe, but I quit.
Hell yeah, bro. I used to hit that motherfucker every day, all day, dude. Like, that was all I wanted to do. It was disgusting.
Well, that, you know what else
So,
too is that what an
my
empty,
son is freaking out in the other room. I'm sorry if you guys can hear that.
I can barely even hear him.
Okay.
But that, to me, I think that it's such an empty, like, even if people are like, yeah, I get excited about something or whatever, and things are,
Oh my gosh. And back to the devil being more than just an entity. That shit is the devil. Okay.
yeah,
That shit
it's a
changes
good,
you, possesses you,
yeah, it
and you
makes you
turn into
different.
something else,
Yep.
something that you are, well, like, if you ever made it back, so ashamed, like trash, like, dude, I will never go
Yeah.
back to that life, bro. Yo, thank you, God. Oh, I'll never go back to that.
So check this out.
Crazy, bro.
I'm gonna read this verse and it makes me think a lot, but and then I know you're trying to wrap it up, so I just want to say this has been a
Oh,
lot of
good,
fun.
brother.
But so this is what Jesus went over to Nicodemus's house for dinner or whatever. And Jesus answered, or so he's talking about, Nicodemus was saying, I see all the miracles you're doing, so I know that you're coming from God. But uh, he's like not understanding what Jesus is saying or whatever. Jesus answered and said unto him, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. So when I read that and I think of the things that I see compared to the things that I couldn't see my whole life, it seems important to me. Except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. So who knows? But I do appreciate you having me on, Austin. It's been awesome for sure.
Dude, this has been an amazing show, man. I appreciate it, dude. This is fun.
You
You
know,
bring the heat when you come on, bro. I love it. Like,
you
even
should
your,
have on too. You should have
what's up?
DITRH on here. You should have
Oh, hell
DITRH on
yeah.
here for
You know
sure.
what? He's busy with,
Flat
I don't
smack
want
in the
my
world.
sons being on it. Yeah, I don't want to interrupt that. You know what I mean? Like, I would love
Yeah.
for him to come on and we can kick it and talk about whatever, comes up. I think it'd be a great conversation. But, at the same time, I still got a little starstruck with him last time I seen him at Flattoberfest,
Hey,
because he is the one that woke me up to all of it. So,
he's a household name for a lot of households. So yeah, I hear you.
but yeah, I will tell you who we are having, though, on the following Wednesday. I'm sorry, my son's at the door, so I'm about to be wrapping it up here. But next Wednesday, the following Wednesday after, in 2 Wednesdays, we're gonna have Free Flow on, one of the members of the Kakalaki crew, and we're gonna be discussing dinosaurs. Right?
Oh, that's
He's
the flat fellow. That flat fellow, right?
yeah, it's his
Okay,
buddy.
yeah.
It's one of the
I just
Kakalaki crew. He's a great
subscribed.
guy, Vinny. Yeah,
Yeah,
I met him. At Flattoberfest. And sorry again about my son, but he's an expert on dinosaurs, and he's been in national magazines for his work, and he makes models for museums. He doesn't believe the official narrative, of course, but he's gonna have. I'm really excited to hear his perspective on it and what he's gonna bring. So that's gonna
awesome.
be more in the future. And then also one more thing, this Sunday coming up on the Awake and Baked. Miss Mays is going to be coming on joining me. You guys should really be checking out. I don't have a link ready. Damn it. Someone try and grab Miss Mays's YouTube channel and throw it in the chat, because her and Buddha are over there every Wednesday having amazing conversations, and I just feel like she should get a lot more subs. Only got like 150 subs, and it's very underrated. Amazing conversations every Wednesday around like 2 p.m. Eastern ish. But yeah, great stuff. But we're gonna have her on this Sunday with us. This Sunday Rising, she's gonna be hanging out, smoking with us, and then we'll be dropping the link later on and bringing others on and all that good stuff. But yeah, so we got a lot coming up. It's gonna be great. It's been a great birthday. And it's been great having you on, brother. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you
so
and
much.
likewise.
I definitely want to do this again. We'll continue this conversation.
Yeah, we never got to Enoch 71. That's the one that's on my screen right now. The description of that star circle or star.
Oh
trails.
yeah, no. Let's do this real quick before we go. Actually,
okay,
no,
we can do it really.
I want to talk about this.
We can do it really brief. I can go there and read it, or I can just give a description of it. But all those stars going around in that circle, right? So Enoch and anyone interested, you can get the Book of Enoch. Just type in the Book of Enoch online, and you'll find it. It's not hard to find. And go to chapter 71, and in that chapter, Enoch is talking about how he goes and his spirit was translated into the heavens, and it ascended up into the heavens. And he saw the holy sons of God. I'll read a little bit of it. They were stepping on flames of fire. Their garments were white and their raiment, and their faces shone like snow. I saw two streams of fire, and the light of that fire shone like hyacinth, and I fell on my face before the Lord of spirits. And the angel Michael, one of the archangels, seized me by my right hand and lifted me up and led me forth into all the secrets. And he showed me all the secrets of righteousness. And he showed me all the secrets of the ends of the heaven and all the chambers of the stars and all the luminaries, whence they proceed before the face of the holy ones. And he translated my spirit into the heaven of heavens, and I saw there, as it were, a structure built of crystals, and between those crystals, tongues of living fire. And my spirit saw the girdle which girt that house of fire, and on its four sides were streams full of living fire, and they girt that house. And round about were seraphim, cherubim, and ophanim, and these are they who sleep not and guard the throne of his glory. So there's a house and a throne. And then look what it says here. This is verse 8. And I saw angels who could not be counted, 1,000 thousands and 10,000 times 10,000, encircling that house. And Michael and Raphael and Gabriel and Phanuel and the holy angels who are above the heavens go in and out of that house. And then they're with the head of days. And so when I see, I'll try to get it back on the screen. Right, what's on the screen right now, the star trails. It appears to me that Enoch was talking about that one in the middle, and apparently it's a house with a throne. And
God's throne, baby.
Yeah.
And where are the colors?
North, above the north, and and this is video of Polaris that I took, and see the colors of it, how it's I'll zoom in a little bit here. I think it's a really short clip, but it's like red and green. Oh, that was it for Polaris. It's like red and green and white.
I was just talking to my wife about this literally today in the car on the way to. We had lunch today together.
A jasper and a sardine stone. That's what it is.
Yeah, dude. Yes, exactly. And I was explaining to her like how right now every day there's people getting great footage of these aurora borealis, the emerald rainbow, literally, and in the scriptures it says the emerald rainbow is at the foot of God's throne, and it's all right there.
Tell you what, I'll put how can I do, I'll have to go to YouTube or something in the comments. Are you going to keep this video up for like on YouTube?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll put in the comments a link to a video, that video where I took Polaris, and there's an interesting scripture that I play in that video of John going up, a door opening in heaven, and what he sees up there, and it's like the same colors as that star. It's crazy, and I know John didn't have a telescope, so it's crazy. But I'll make sure I put a link in the comments under this video once it's done.
Oh yeah, bet. Appreciate that. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. For real, this is great.
Thank you. Much love, everyone.
Yes, much love. Everyone being here, thank you so much. Big shout out to everyone. Let me do a quick shout out before I hit the music. Ray, Trisha, Naika's. Sorry about not doing the break, Naika's, my bad. Jennifer, much love. Cammie, much love. Doc, what's up, brother? Fam. Mr. Super Sidewinder, what's up? Chicago Artist, what's up, bro? Mary, much love, Mary. Enlightened Dawn, what's up, Dawn? Angela, much love, Angela. DJ, much love, thank you. Connie, much love. Who else we got? Wolf Fox Bear, much love. Morgan, much love, bro. Much love.
This was from my last
Billy
expedition. Just in case anyone's wondering.
Chinchilla Bear, the third, much love. Young Love, got an OG in the house. And we had Dearth up in the chat, much love. Thank you so much for hanging out, everyone. NDB, what's up, bro? No Despair Bear, my brother. What's up? Derek, what's up, brother? Jonathan, yo, what's up? Yeah, man. I seen Carrie earlier. All you guys, thank you, man. Kim Ray, what's up, bro? Amaware, what's up? All of you guys. Zach, what's up, brother? Shout out to Iron Realm Media. And Zach's been putting out some fire videos lately, too. All right, Chris, what's up, brother? I ain't forget you. Guys, child. All y'all. Shout you out. All right. So, yeah, peace and love, guys. I'll check you guys Sunday, Rising. Joe, appreciate you coming on, brother.
Thank you. Keep it
great.
flat.
Yeah, man. When you guys keep it real, you keep the real ones. All right, y'all. Peace.
universal unfolding, that I may be free to express myself